thought the Lakers-Nuggets game was fascinating, okay? And all the Denver Laker games over the last 2 years, Denver's the best basketball team on the planet. Boston's probably second. But they all look the same. The Lakers absolutely hang with them. And about 5-6 minutes to go, Denver ratchets up their defense, and Lakers don't get as many good shots. And then Jamal Murray and Jokic kind of take over. Saturday night, much of the same, and Denver wins narrowly. And Laker fans were very upset. They were mad at Darvin Ham. Anthony Davis only had 17 points. The bench didn't deliver. But I actually saw it differently. Let's start with this. The Nuggets have 4 elite players. Their 4 best players are all in their prime. Michael Porter, number 1 high school player, first-round pick, giving you 17 a night in the NBA. He went 10 for 10 to start. 10 for 10 in the game. Number 4 pick, Aaron Gordon, one of the better bodies, length in the NBA, top defender, had 18, 9, and 5. Jamal Murray did what he always does, 24 points, 11 assists. And Jokic, best player in the world, had 35, 10, and 7 and shot 64%. Their 4 best players are all athletically in their prime. Okay? Go look at the Lakers. They have 1 elite player in their prime. 1, Anthony Davis. And because of the injuries, many in his career, he's an old 30. LeBron's not in his prime. He's 39 years old, and Austin Reeves is not an elite player. He wasn't even drafted. He's a really good player who has overachieved in the NBA, gives you about 15 a night. Good player. Should be a 4 on a great team. But this is what the series should be. It shouldn't be this close. If you go look at NBA champions, NFL champions, World Cup champions, baseball champions, generally, the core of the team, the strength of it, is overwhelmingly guys in their prime. The Lakers have 1 elite talent in their prime, Anthony Davis, who's always been a little hit and miss offensively, tremendous defensively, and that's it, and he's an old 30. So the Lakers and Nuggets the last 2 years have played a lot, 11 times in 2 years, and the point differential is only 4.5 against the world's best basketball team. Why are the games usually that close? Because LeBron and Anthony Davis are top 12, 15 players in the league, maybe better. And the Lakers have championship length, which is the only way to compete with Denver. The Warriors, 0-7 against Denver. The Clippers, 1-6, lose by an average of 9. The Suns are 4-7 and lose by 8 to 8.5 points a game. Lakers Nuggets is always close. And what it tells me is LeBron in year 21 is only missing a dependable number 3 talent, and they didn't get him at the deadline. Be mad at the front office. Don't be mad at AD. Don't be mad at Austin Reeves. The Nuggets have 4 elite players. Top high school, first round, best center in the world, best player, Jamal Murray, Kentucky. These are elite guys, all in their prime. Lakers have like half of one in Anthony Davis. It's okay. Anthony Davis talked about it. All Nugget Laker games look the same mostly. You tell me, if the Lakers had 4 elite players in their prime, like, you know, a Shaq and a Kobe and a Rick Fox and a Derek Fisher, and the Nuggets had like 3/4 of one, would you expect the games always to be this close? This is what Laker Nugget games should look like. The Lakers championship size can compete with them. Clippers don't necessarily. Suns struggle. Warriors don't match up at all. Lakers lost the way they're going to lose against Denver, when you just don't have that level of talent with 5 to 6 minutes to go in the game. So I saw this over the weekend. There's a lot of talk about the Dak Prescott extension. Here's what I noticed with the Cowboys over the weekend. Tyron Smith, left tackle. Right now, the Cowboys and Tyron Smith, left tackle, are miles apart. And it made me think about this. Have they wasted his career? So when I started watching football, it was like in the early 70s. I remember sitting watching a black and white TV, watching Washington lose to Miami in the Super Bowl. The first great offensive line I ever heard talked about was those Miami Dolphins. And they went to 3 straight Super Bowls and won a couple of them. Then it was the Steelers followed them. Mike Webster, the all-time great center, they went to 4 Super Bowls. Great offensive line. After that, in the late 70s, early 80s, the Raiders were legendary. Announcers talked about their offensive line. They got 2 Super Bowl wins. And then I think the Washington, remember they were called the Hogs? They got to 4 Super Bowls. That was a great all-time offensive line. The Cowboys with Jimmy Johnson similarly pushed people around. 4 seasons, 3 Super Bowls. The only 2 offensive lines that I can recall that have been stacked with Pro Bowlers, All-Pro, Hall of Fame guys that didn't get consistently to Super Bowls are the Kansas City Chiefs. Trent Green was the quarterback. Willie Rofe, Will Shields, Brian Waters, dominant offensive line. Ray Lewis, to this day, you ask him the team he hated to play, it wasn't the Steelers, it was Kansas City. Mauled teams. But they had Trent Green. And the other is Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys O-line. Tyron Smith will be a first-ballot Hall of Famer, 8-time All-Pro, arguably first or second best left tackle since he entered the league. Zach Martin's made 9 Pro Bowls, 7 All-Pros, maybe the best guard in league history. And then Travis Frederick had to retire early. A little bit of late Romo, early Dak, 5-time All-Pro, may have made 10 if he stayed around. Dominant player, retired early. And from that, 2 playoff wins. Think about this. The NFC's gotten weaker over the last 5 years. That's indisputable. Even the Detroit Lions, who this year established themselves as having the best offensive line in the league, left tackle, center, right tackle, the Detroit Lions, the sad sack of the NFL for 25, 30 years, the Detroit Lions finally have the best offensive line in the league, and they won 2 playoff games this year. Dallas had a run of about 7, 8, 9 years, mostly Dak's career, with 3 Hall of Fame level, left tackle, center, best guard to ever play. In a weakened NFC, 2 playoff wins. Now, the Eagles' O-line, I don't know if it stacks up historically good, Kelsey Lane Johnson, but it's been really, really, really good. 1, 2, or 3 in the league several years. They got to 2 Super Bowls. So you can blame who you want. You can blame the end of Tony Romo's career. People love to blame Tony Romo. You can blame Dak. I would say there's clearly a lower ceiling than you'd prefer. But boy, Tyron Smith, when I hear the Cowboys are miles apart, you have wasted this all-time great offensive line. There was a reason they went first-round picks on O-line, because it was bad for years. Tony Romo running for his life. Then late Romo and Dak got an all-timer. 2 playoff wins in a weakened NFC. We're going to have an offensive line in Dallas as good as that one. It's just not going to happen. Washington has never had an offensive line that duplicated that one. Either of the Raiders, either of the Dolphins, their weakness is the O-line. Even of the Steelers, their weakness O-line. Happens very infrequently. When you draft offensive linemen high and they all hit, and for Detroit they have, and they've already produced 2 playoff wins, with 1 year having what's regarded as the best O-line in football. We don't talk about them a lot, but they matter. Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.